Welcome to the reaction radar. They came masked, they threw bottles, they threw bricks. Yes, someone even injured a police horse. Without any further ado, let's jump into this.
I want to bring in LA County Sheriff Robert Luna, who joins us on the phone. Sheriff, thank you as always for being here with us as we watch these images of some of your deputies and other law enforcement moving in on some of these crowds. We know that you are an ardent supporter of people's First Amendment right to protest, but tell us when things changed and what the plan is right now to get them to disperse.
Well, Kathy and Jonathan, first of all, thank you for having me on, and it is really busy right now. I want to emphasize with all of your viewers that today started out to be a great day. A lot of good folks, families, even their dogs out peacefully protesting.
And remember, folks, that's the important thing. We do have the right to peacefully protest. Remember that. A lot of people think that, whatever, all this stuff, but at the end of the day, we do have a right to peaceful protest and peaceful assembly.
And I heard one of the reporters say then something shifted. What shifted is that you started to have these agitators who came here with the purpose of creating chaos. And they started to attack police officers and deputy sheriffs. And my advice to everybody is, and I've said this all week, we will always be there to facilitate First Amendment protests and demonstrations. We encourage them. We think it's a great message. But at one point, you have individuals that come here and start attacking with bottles, rocks, throwing everything they can. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how many of my deputies have been injured.
Wow, that's amazing. And I hope you were listening to what he said, Sheriff Luna, because again, it is your civic right. It is your citizenship duty to peacefully assemble. Now, the media won't tell you this. They'll put their own spin on stuff. But the reason that law enforcement is there, and even the National Guard was called, is for peaceful assemble. So that you may, even though you have folks, again, remember, we're going straight down the middle. This is not one side or the other, right? But they're there for your protection to make sure you have that peaceful assemble. But if you start acting up rowdy, you start doing all these things, now it's no longer peaceful assemble, and they're going to have to take law enforcement action, right? So remember that. Remember, guys, informed and engaged. Informed and engaged.
I have a report that one of our horses was injured. I mean, you have people attacking.
They done attacked Mr. Ed. Can you believe that? What did Mr. Ed do to them? Huh? What did Mr. Ed do? Come on, folks.
Horses. That's crazy. This is unacceptable. I even have a report of somebody who rode up on a motorcycle to throw some kind of gas at our deputy sheriffs. So what your viewers are seeing is when our deputies are responding with less lethal munitions, they are doing that because they are being attacked. Something else, for anybody who's out there, if an unlawful assembly is declared, that means you need to leave the area immediately. What you're seeing on video are individuals who are not only not leaving, they're actually moving towards the police officers with masks on. I don't think in police work we call that a clue, right? You got people running at you with masks, with rocks in their hand. Those are not peaceful protesters. Those are individuals that are creating chaos, and they're hurting people, and it's unacceptable. We have made several arrests. Arrests will continue.
And once again, you see right there, Sheriff Luna was saying, they have to watch out for people that are coming to possibly harm them, right? So, if, again, you're there for peaceful assemble, right? Peaceful protest, but you also have to be smart. If the officers give you a lawful objective, hey, break it down, disperse, do whatever, it will probably behoove you to do it. They're there to afford you to do what you're doing, but at the same time, if they see threat coming, they can engage in a conversation with you while somebody's possibly coming to do something harm you, harm them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be smart about that too, you know?
And again, I want to emphasize, they're not arresting protesters and demonstrators. They're arresting individuals committing crimes.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that Sheriff Luna mentioned that. You hear what he said? They're not there to arrest protesters. They're there to arrest people that are the individuals that are creating these problems. Right? So again, you can be out there protesting legally, you know, but once you start breaking the law, now you're crossing into a whole different arena.
Against deputy sheriffs and police officers.
We saw as your men came and formed a line. We've seen the horses. We've seen them ready to go in. Do you have any idea who the agitators are, who these people are, who want to do this sort of thing?
You know, unfortunately, we see this the last several nights. Between LAPD, the CHP, and us, and even other police departments in the region, the majority of the protests and demonstrations have gone great. It's until these individuals get involved. Some of them have been arrested. We're continuously working with other agencies to make sure that we're identifying them, because honestly, what is their purpose? And that's what we've got to ask. And I've been talking to individuals that are in charge of the protest and have.
I tell you what, people are so funny, man. People are so funny. So in the middle of a riot, protest, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, you have to rate the peaceful assemble. But did you guys just notice in the middle of everything, there's an individual on a skateboard just skating through, just literally
having good communications and saying, hey, don't allow these people to ruin it for everybody else. So we have to continue to work together, and I appreciate our media and our partners out there capturing a lot of what's going on, because when you see these individuals out there, for example, holding umbrellas, there's only one purpose for that umbrella, and that's when the confrontations are happening, when law enforcement, they're trying to repel the rounds, the less lethal rounds coming at them, or the gas, because people behind them are the ones throwing objects. And I say objects, they're a rock, the size of the rock and bricks that they're throwing, and the other devices can seriously injure or maybe even kill somebody. So this is serious business. It's criminal activity, and it's not going to be tolerated. But please, I want to reemphasize, this is the peaceful protesters and demonstrators. None of this was going on earlier today. As a matter of fact, we had a lot of law enforcement out there engaging with a lot of the protesters in the most positive way.
Folks, and that's another thing. I hope you listen clearly to what Sheriff Luna said, because this is what the politicians are going to do. They're going to come out and be like, oh, the police are there and they're this for that and that, this for this and this for that. But listen to what the sheriff said. He said, you have the right to peaceful assembly. We're there to protect you. We're not there to arrest the people that are peacefully protesting, but the agitators. And we can all agree on this, right? We're out having a good time. You got that one friend or one person that you know that always want to act up. Are you going to keep inviting that individual to come out? I would say no. I'm not sure what you guys would do, right? Because every time you go out, this individual has to act up, got to do extra and bring too much attention. One thing leads to another. Now you're in the spotlight, right? So with what he's saying here and what the politicians are saying now, pay attention. Remember, stay informed and engage, right? Politicians want you to think that law enforcement is there to arrest you and that they're trampling on your rights, and they're not. Sheriff Luna just said they're there to provide you with your First Amendment, freedom of speech. You hear that straight out of the sheriff's mouth. But what they will not tolerate is the agitators. And come on, folks, we can all agree on that. You want to protest, you want to do whatever peacefully, you have the right. That is your constitutional right. But once you start throwing bricks, hitting horses, injuring officers, burning, vandalizing, now Now you just step that to a different level. Okay? So listen to what he's saying.
And that's something that we've been seeing in different cities across Southern California and across the country, Sheriff Luna, as we continue to watch some of these images of, as you guys have talked about, these protests tend to devolve to this smaller group of people who cause this type of violence. We've seen looting, unfortunately, and businesses broken into and tagging and other types of violence. You have that curfew that will take effect at 8 o'clock tonight. How will that help you and other law enforcement there on the ground in trying to get these people out of this area as quickly as possible?
Yeah, the curfew has been very effective. That's something that the mayor and Chief McDonald and the city of LA implemented, and that is only implemented within a certain geographical area, and it happens to be that specific small area where a lot of the activity has occurred.
See, folks, listen, because the politicians are going to come out and be like, oh, martial law, they're enforcing curfews, they're putting restrictions. But you hear what the sheriff said? That's only a small area. So it's like, if you live on, I'm not from LA, right? So please forgive me. Don't take this offensively or anything of that nature. But let's say you live on Main Street, right? And Main Street is connected to First Street, right? Chances are for where that curfew is, it's probably going to be from Main to First in that demographic area, right? Where the protest is happening. He's not saying it's happening in the entire LA, right? But again, this is how the politicians will come out and put a swing on things, abracadabra. Magic, here you go. But think, be informed, and engage. Listen to what they're saying. Listen.
You're reporting about. That has helped, to be honest with you, because I've been involved in implementing curfews. That's not something we take lightly. We'd like to remove it as soon as possible because it impacts our normal community. It impacts our business community. We want to get life back to normal. The protest, we can deal with that all day long, and demonstrations as long as they're peaceful. But you've seen it, people graffitiing, breaking windows, looting. That has nothing to do with the legitimate protest that I believe the majority of people are engaged in.
How has the coordination been between the different agencies? We've seen CHP out there, we've seen mounted units, we've seen LAPD and the Sheriff's Department.
The coordination, in my opinion, has probably never been better. Jim McDonald and I have a fantastic relationship. So do the members of our department. We're officially in what we call unified command. That means command decisions are being made at the same location between the California Highway Patrol, LAPD, and the Sheriff's Department. And I think you saw a press conference yesterday where we were talking about our preparation for today. And although it's the three of us there, for me as the Sheriff of LA County, I'm in constant communication with other agencies in LA County, the other 44 law enforcement agencies in LA County. I am in constant communication with the sheriffs that are all around me, from Orange County, Ventura, San Bernardino, Riverside, and even as far as San Diego. So we are prepared to positively engage this situation, not only here in the Civic Center of Los Angeles, but anywhere else in the county of Los Angeles where other violent protests may break out, and then ready to assist any other agency around us. A lot of good work being done. I'm very proud of law enforcement here in Los Angeles County.
And to your point, Sheriff Luna, you mentioned, that a lot of the times these, what you call agitators, are taking away from the larger message of these mostly peaceful demonstrations. Before we let you go, just quickly, your message to these people who hang out night in, night out, that, that this won't be tolerated.
Well, my first message to them is that you're ruining the positive message that a lot of our protesters and demonstrators are trying to pass on. They're trying to pass on to the federal government that this is wrong. That's the opinion that we're getting over and over. And I respect and acknowledge the fear and anxiety that's going on out there. But these individuals that are out there committing acts of violence, really just criminal acts, are ruining the message. In my opinion, it's falling right into the message of the other side of this. And I'll leave it at that.
And what Sheriff Luna said there makes a lot of sense, because if you're starting to act up, or you have that person that's creating all this commotion and things of that nature, now no one really is going to be listening to you, right? And regardless of, again, if you're on the left side or the right side, you agree, you don't agree, right? It is still your civic duty that you can peacefully protest, right? So I hope you were listening to what he said, because man, that sheriff, seeing a lot of news, doing a lot of reaction to things. This is one of them, other than Sheriff Clark, which I'm not sure if you guys remember who that was, but that was one of the best dudes ever. And aside from him, in my opinion, Sheriff Luna seems pretty squared away and on point. Hopefully we can see what they're talking about and what's going on from here. But what are your thoughts so far? Do you agree? Do you not agree? I would love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments. Do you think curfews and National Guard deployment is the right response? Or are they overstepping? When peace turns into chaos, what's the line? When protester turns destruction, everyone loses. As usual, drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, please remember to like, subscribe, share, stay informed and engage, and keep your radar locked in right here. Have a good one.